We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world. We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Army of Darkness, Bubba Ho-Tep, Issue 1 from Dynamite from 2019, written by Scott Duvall, art by Vincenzo Federici, colorist was Michelle Monte, letterer was Taylor Esposito, edited by Kevin Kettner. Special thanks to Carol Mora of MGM, Bubba Ho-Tep created by Joe Lansdale. I have cover A by Carlos Gomez and Salvatore Ayala. I really like that cover, it's a lot of fun. Especially because he's got a walker and he's on top of Ash's car. Now, this is a pretty fascinating book because you've got a crossover between two fun movies that both starred Bruce Campbell. Now, Ash has learned that Elvis may be alive. He's heard the rumors of the movie, basically. So he goes to the old folks' home where Elvis is supposedly at, but Elvis isn't there. And he does eventually get in contact with Elvis, but not before the mummy is possessed by a deadite. So you know things are getting wacky. Well, Elvis, who's of course a 7th degree black belt, and Ash are set upon by the evil undead monster, and things go crazy. This was actually a really fun book. There's a few anime things that I didn't like about the art. One where Ash's face is obscured in shadows and you just see yellow circles for his eyes and then his mouth. I thought that was a little over the top. I don't like manga stuff. I don't like anime very much, and I don't really want to see that in my regular comic. If you want to draw that style, please do a manga. Mainstream books don't really need that, especially when you're trying to promote some franchises. You want to appeal to as many people as possible, and I don't think mixing your art styles like that is the way to do it. But that's a personal quibble. What I did like was that when the mummy creature deadite talked, it spoke in symbols like little hieroglyphs, and they had caption boxes translating it, which I thought was fun and a cute gimmick that could work in a miniseries like this. Overall, the art is a little hit and miss. It's not the greatest. There are some really good panels, but there's a lot of really weak art too, which kind of disappointed me. I think the artist has talent. It's just not a style that I like, and I think the artist needs a little more work before they're ready for prime time. However, I did enjoy the story quite a bit, so I am going to recommend it. I thought it was a fun book. The premise is hilarious, and the execution is fun. You're taking some really fun franchises and mixing them together for a weird team up, which I'm looking forward to issue 2 of, because I thought it had a really good story and it ended on a good cliffhanger, and the way they met made sense in the context of the universe. So all in all, a pretty solid read. Like I said, some of the art needs a little work. The cover art is a little deceptive because it's better than the interior art, but I don't think the artist is without talent. So I'm willing to put up with a few things that I don't like to see some things that I do. And there were some good panels. I thought Elvis was drawn really well most of the time. So all in all, a pretty decent read. Is it worth your $4? Depends how much you like these movie franchises. A lot of the older Army of Darkness stuff isn't very good. A lot of people will hate me for saying that, but it's not that great. This was good. This was solid. If you liked Kiss Army of Darkness, if you like that one, you probably will like this one. The art style is a little different, but overall, this was a pretty decent read. So I'm going to recommend it. If you can get it a little cheaper, I would recommend that. But if you're willing to pay $4 for an Army of Darkness book that's pretty entertaining, this is your book. If you get a chance to check this out, I recommend it. I thought it was a fun read, and I didn't feel too cheated for the $4. But that's just my opinion. As always, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss future reviews, and we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Army of Darkness, Bubba Ho-Tep, Issue 2. This is a 4-issue miniseries from IDW and Dynamite from 2019, written by Scott Duvall, art by Vincenzo Federici, colors by Michelle Monte, letters by Taylor Esposito, edited by Kevin Kettner. I have cover A by Diego Galdino, which is an awesome cover, and it does kind of relate to what's going on in the book, so this was a lot of fun. So Ash is tossed into the past, and he immediately immediately tries to track Elvis down and catches a bunch of flack, but thankfully a little bit of bribery with a waitress gets him to Elvis's dressing room, and he dresses up like Elvis, only to be caught by Elvis. They immediately start fighting, and that's when bad things start happening. See, Bubba Ho-Tep is there to cause some havoc, and he has the Necronomicon Ho-Tep. It's an evil tablet with horrible things scrawled into it, and Ash and Elvis have to work together. Thankfully, Elvis has experience fighting the undead, but just when things seem to go a little easier, they decide to go to Graceland on Elvis's private jet, but things are not going to work out the way they hope. Overall, this was actually a really fun book. The art's not the greatest, it is Dynamite, but Elvis and Ash both look really fun, and they did a really good job capturing the essence of both the Bubba Ho-Tep film version of Elvis and the character of Ash from Army of Darkness. But I would absolutely recommend this. This was a lot of fun, and if you like the movies, I think you're really going to like the book, because it had a lot of fun elements from both, and it really does kind of play into the Elvis mythology quite a bit. So a fun story with a really awesome cover. The art, like I said, not the best, but it's about what you usually get from Dynamite. But I think the story definitely makes up for any failings in the art. And there were some good panels in here. It just needed a little bit something extra, a little more refinement. So I think the artist did a really good job on the backgrounds and actually adding those in, unlike a lot of Dynamite books. But some of the faces just need a little work. Beyond that, the art's okay. I think the artist has potential, just needs to kind of refine their craft a little bit. But a solid recommendation all around. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Army of Darkness, Bubba Ho-Tep, Issue 3. This is a 4-issue miniseries from Dynamite and IDW from 2019, written by Scott Duvall, art by Vincenzo Federici, colors by Michelle Monte, letters by Taylor Esposito, and edited by Kevin Kettner. I have cover A by Diego Galdini, and that does relate to what's going on in the book, shockingly, in a weird way. And it's a pretty fun cover. I would have made the figures a little bit bigger, but that's just my personal preference. So Elvis and Ash are on Elvis's private jet, and Ash is going to go to the bathroom when scarabs begin to attack Elvis, and he's not about to have that. So he busts out some nunchucks and some karate and takes care of business. Meanwhile, Ash just found something horrifying in the bathroom, but the terror doesn't end there. So Elvis and Bubba Ho-Tep are going at it, and Ash has to deal with a really deadite looking pilot. Things just are not going well for the duo, but they put up a heck of a fight. This is largely a combat issue, but the end is a great cliffhanger, and I had a lot of fun reading it. This was just crazy fun. A great crossover between two wacky Bruce Campbell franchises. So if you liked Army of Darkness or Bubba Ho-Tep, preferably both, you're really gonna like this. This was a lot of fun. I'm not sure if it was collected in trade, but I would definitely recommend getting it that way if you can. But it was just crazy, goofy fun. There's some amazingly good scenes in here, and the art's not the greatest. I'm not a giant fan of this art style, but it definitely had some really cool parts. I think the proportions are a bit exaggerated at times, but I've seen a lot worse, especially out of Dynamite, so I didn't have that much of a problem with the art style as I probably would have normally, but considering a lot of the detailing that went into this, I'm going to give the artist a lot of credit. It's just not a preferred style for me. I did enjoy this quite a bit, and I'm definitely going to reread this at some point, so I'm going to hang on to these issues. I hope it wraps up at least as well as the rest of the series has gone, but we'll find out next time. Until then, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Army of Darkness, Bubba Ho-Tep, Issue 4. This is the final installment of the miniseries from IDW and Dynamite in 2019. This issue is written by Scott Duvall, art by Vincenzo Federici, colors by Michelle Monte, letters by Taylor Esposito. The editor was Kevin Kettner. I have cover A by Diego Galdino. I do like that cover. It is pretty funny. Ash giving the side eye to Elvis. So the plane has crashed, but it also threw Ash back into the future, and he's unsure as to the fate of Elvis when the Deadites attack again. And this time it's Bubba Ho-Tep and some guy in a leisure suit who's really, really fat. And unfortunately, it looks like he's all out of ammo. He also has to face off with Bubba Ho-Tep wielding his chainsaw. Thankfully, he does have that metal hand still. He does get some help from Elvis driving Ash's car, and the two of them have to put the smackdown on the bad guys and use the tablet to try and rid the world of Bubba Ho-Tep's evil. This was a really fun book that had a great setup for a future miniseries crossover, which hopefully someday they will do, but unfortunately it hasn't happened yet. Overall, this was a pretty solid book. There was some really good action in it, and while I'm not a giant fan of the art style, it did have some really cool panels with some great perspective shots where we get to see different people from nice different angles that made it a lot more exciting and dramatic, which thankfully proves that even Dynamite can have better artists than Marvel. And the ending wrapped it up really well. It was a solid miniseries. I had a lot of fun reading it. I'm glad I tracked it down, even though it took a long time to get all 4 parts for it. It was absolutely worth it. It was so much fun to read this, and it was a great crossover that hopefully they will do more stuff like this in the future. So if you get a chance to check this out and you're an Army of Darkness or Bubba Ho-Tep fan, or preferably both, I think you'll find something here that'll entertain you, because it had a lot going on and it was a lot of fun. It's silly. Some of it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it doesn't matter because it was a good time and it was 2 of Bruce Campbell's more interesting characters fighting the undead. Now, if they did an Army of Darkness Briscoe County crossover, I think all of my dreams may come true. So keep holding out for that. But in the meantime, this is absolutely worth tracking down. So if you get a chance, grab this up and see what you think. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.